we're here tonight in the Stade Louis II, and tonight, sadly, there will understandably be a somber atmosphere. We are just 20 kilometers from Nice, and you can see in the stands that many people who would have traveled from Nice after the events of last night have obviously chosen not to come. Last night's devastating events, where so many innocent men, women and children lost their lives, have affected so many. And the athletics community represented here tonight, the athletes and the spectators, many of whom, as I said, are from Nice, will shortly be observing a minute's silence to express their solidarity and their condolences with all those sadly affected. And tonight, all of the athletes competing will wear a black ribbon. Well, perfectly observed, and for now the athletes will concentrate on the job at hand for them, and I'll hand you to Tim Hutchings to commentate on our very first event of the evening, the 400-metre hurdles for women.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, there is indeed a somber mood around the Athletes Hotel and the entire city, but of course life must go on, and this 400-metre hurdles is of the very highest order. These athletes still have a goal just over a month away in Rio de Janeiro. Anacasis goes in lane 1 for France, the semi-finalist in the European Championships last week in Amsterdam. Tough lane draw that. Wenda Teronel of South Africa, World Championship finalist last year in Beijing. Third in Rabat, second in Rome. Her season is building well, the South African. Best of 54.61 this year. There's Ailey Doyle. Ailey Child, as was European champion in 2014. Commonwealth silver medalist as well. World number 8 this year, and having a super season which kicked off with that win in Doha. Ashley Spencer goes in lane 4, the world number 5. Great flat speed. She was second in the US Championships and yet has chosen to travel from Eugene last week. Shamir Little, one of the biggest shocks of the US Championships last week was that she didn't make the final. The World Championship silver medalist last year. There's Sarah Pettersson, the European champion from last week in Amsterdam for Denmark, goes in 6. Cassandra Tate, third in the World Championships last year, another big casualty at the US Championships. She was only 5th in their Olympic trials. And Leah Sprunger goes in lane 8, the European Championship bronze medalist in Amsterdam last week. This is her first Diamond League appearance of 2016 for the Swiss. Shamir Little, it was an absolutely stunning blow, disappointing blow for the world number 2 this year now. She was the world number 1 going into those US trials last week and didn't get out of the semi-finals. Couldn't get within 2 seconds of her personal best set at the Prefontaine meeting back at the end of May. As ever, she's in lane 5 with that yellow flower in her hair. World Championship silver and bronze medalists go here then, both from the USA, but neither made the Rio team for the USA. Anacasis in 1 for France, Wenda Teronel of South Africa in 2. Then Ailey Doyle of Britain goes in 3. Ashley Spencer of the USA, who did make their team, she goes in 4. Shamir Little there goes in lane 5. Can she compensate for the disappointment of Eugene here? Pettersson in 6, the European champion. Cassandra Tate in 7. Leah Sprunger in lane 8.
Son.
Well, frustration surely for Shamir Little in lane 5. She's already made up a little bit of ground on Sarah Pettersson, Denmark outsider, although Pettersson is a strong finisher. Cassandra Tate in 7 has gone off very quickly too. But Shamir Little to the left of picture with yellow flower in her hair is in 5. Pedersen getting into a running now. And my word, has Ailey Doyle gone hard through the first 200 metres. She's way past Ashley Spencer outside her, who's having a bad run at the moment, third from right. Ailey Doyle certainly leading at the moment in lane 3. She's blasted through this first 250. Can she hold it down the home straight? This is an event which is renowned for getting its revenge on you if you don't spread your energies correctly. But Doyle leads into the straight. This is a fabulous performance from the Scots so far. Outside her in lane 6 is Pedersen beginning to come back, but Doyle's still leading. Doyle, who didn't run in the European Championship, is going to take this one by a big margin too. What a time, 54.11 from Cassandra Tate and Sarah Pedersen. And that from Ailey Doyle, goodness me, a new personal best. And she threw caution to the wind, attacked it out of the blocks, really went hard down the back straight, had a clear lead at halfway, held her form well around the second bend, and didn't falter at all down the home straight. 54.09 from Ailey Doyle. Well, that is one heck of a confidence booster against a very strong field.
Well, what a great performance from Ailey Doyle. And I know that she was trying to work with this new stride pattern. She wants to use in Rio the stride pattern she hoped will take her towards a medal. And on the evidence of this tonight, she really did attack it hard, as you said. 15 strides to the first 6, then she changed down. She doesn't like going off her right leg. The left leg's her lead leg. She was hoping to only do it once, just had to chop here. If she gets it perfect, she would have taken that last barrier with her left leg lead as well. But goodness me, that's a very minor point to make. She'll be absolutely delighted. Just watch here, just as she's getting tired, just has to chop a little into the last one. But everything else was perfect there tonight. Ailey Doyle looking, as we get closer to Rio, more and more like a real prospect for a medal. And when you win these big Diamond Leagues, Tim, the confidence that gives you against a good field, okay, 1 or 2 not here, but she began the season so well, didn't she, in the Diamond League second in Doha, and now what a confidence booster for her. This was really top class hurdling, personal best. Confidence must be soaring.
Well, let's confirm that result for you from Ailey Doyle. 54.09, the personal best. Cassandra Tate, 54.63. Pedersen, the European champion, a season's best for her, 54.81. But the Americans struggling tonight so far. And Doyle on 30 points. Of course, it is 10 points for a win in the Diamond League. So Tate on 27. It's still pretty tight, and there's more meets to come. But that's a fabulous boost for her fortunes with Rio almost on top of us.
What an excellent run, a personal best as well. Was that the plan, go out there and set a PB?
I mean, I know I'm in PB shape. I just wanted to go out there, execute the race well. I mean, it wasn't brilliant. I mucked up my last hurdle, so yeah, hopefully there's some more to come.
US champion Michelle Carter has travelled well since last week's US Olympic trials. A 4th round effort was the best of a consistent series for the world indoor champion. That 19 metres 58 heave was just 1 centimetre away from her season's best, set when taking the US title in Eugene. World number 2, Christina Schwanitz of Germany, couldn't find the 20-metre plus form that brought her European gold in Amsterdam just 8 days ago. The reigning world champion's form in Beijing last year put together a solid series, capped by this 1981 throw in round 5. And that was because the loss because of a resurgent Valerie Adams, the reigning Olympic champion from New Zealand, came out top today. 4 times world champion between 2007 and 2013. Adams has undergone a series of surgeries, notably to her throwing arm, but like a true champion, she fought her way back. Tonight in round 5, she reached 20.05. The big Kiwi is back, throwing over 20 metres for the first time in 2 years. Perfect timing with Rio a month away.
This week, the Diamond League comes to Monaco, the tiny principality on the French Riviera, which is also the home of the IAAF. Always one of the best meetings on the Diamond League circuit. Monaco last year produced a number of world leads and a world record for Ganzebi Dibaba. Still to come, the men's 800 metres, including Britain's Michael Rimmer. Mo Farah and Asbel Kiprop once again do battle over 1,500 metres in a race that also features Charlie Grice. Double European champion Daphne Schippers headlines the 100 metres. Lindsay Sharp takes on the seemingly unstoppable Caster Semenya over 800 metres. And we'll have all the best of the action from some top-class field competitions.
So onto the track, men's 800 metres. Michael Rimmer in lane 1, 2 athletes in the second lane, Jonathan Kittelit and Luke Matthews from Australia, Lewandowski and Kashot, the 2 Polish athletes in lanes 3 and 4. And then we've got Alfred Kipketer, who won the Kenyan trials. We've got Damani of France in lane 5, Nicholas Kipkoech, then Brandon McBride, and then on the outside we'll have Som and Etes Som doing the pacemaking job. Men's 800 metres. Quite a long hold on the start line there for them, but everybody's stock still. And Som, who has given this job obviously on so many occasions, has a little look behind already. And I think it's going to be interesting to see who really takes this on here, because without some of the normal front runners, and obviously everyone's looking to Kashot, but Kashot, the one who normally would sit back and wait and see. Maybe somebody like the Canadian Brandon McBride, who's quite an aggressive runner, and you can see there, already moved up on Alfred Kipketer. And but the two of them, Tim, a little bit reticent to go chasing after Bram Som, maybe just checking back a little bit. The field well bunched, Kashot nicely placed in the middle.
Well, that's probably because if they went with Bram Som, they'd go through in 49, 9, 50 seconds. If they stay back a little bit, there's a degree of safety going through in about 50.5. Let's see, Som there, actually 50.6. There's about a 4 metre gap, but it's a strong, big field, and you don't want to commit too much with that much talent breathing down your neck.
Som attacking at the front, but he'll step off in a second, looks behind. We've got Alfred Kipketer, who won the Kenyan trials. Kittelit trying to look for a bit of room as Kipkoech opens up round the back straight there. And McBride now will try and hold off the 2 Kenyans, and the one on his inside, we might just get boxed a little bit. And Kashot, well, he's got nowhere to go, the big Canadian right in front of him. So Kittelit attacks round the top end. Kipkoech is just elbowed out of it by Kipketer, tries to hold the inside, and he will hold the inside. So it's the 2 Kenyans, Alfred Kipketer, the Kenyan champion, Kittelit trying to hang on, and here comes McBride and Kashot looking for some room between everybody, and Kashot will try and get there, and right on the outside, Lewandowski. Kashot won't get there. It's another win for Kipketer. Well, he looked strong in the Kenyan trials. It's exactly what he did there. He put himself in a good position with 150 to go on that day, and he did it again here. Used those elbows to really good effect when Kittelit tried to attack. Kashot and Lewandowski, as ever, finishing quickly. Michael Rimmer in 6th place.
Well, there was a very extravagant surge here from Kittelit around the top of the bend. The 2 poles in his wake there. Kashot trying to find a bit of daylight through the middle there with that beard taking the inside line, and then runs into the back of the leader Kipketer. And I think he thinks he's taken it there, punches the line. Now, I think that's actually a tactic, isn't it, where you push one arm forward like that. The idea is that it pushes the torso forward another centimetre or 2. Kipketer, it's not pretty to look at, is it? The flailing arms, but my word, he covers the ground well. Kashot so close, has that presence of mind. And good to see Lewandowski coming back as well. That's a really quick run from him, a big season's best in 3rd place. They're quite a pairing, that Polish pair. They're very, very experienced. But Kipketer is raw talent, isn't he?
Men's long jump down the back straight. Jamal Forbes from Jamaica. Forbes will be heading off to Rio. And Jamaica obviously looking to turn 1 or 2 of the folks who can't sprint maybe quite as well into long jump. Forbes, one of those, 8th back in Moscow a couple of years ago. Looked as though he would really come on that year, 8.25, and hasn't progressed really since 2013. A little shake of the head there. Did win the Jamaican Championships, 8.16. He's quick enough. But Forbes just waiting to see how that comes up. Be interesting to see. The long jump this year looks stacked, doesn't it? With so many men. Probably putting the Olympic champion, the defending champion, Greg Rutherford, who's struggling with 1 or 2 injury problems, under some pressure. 8 meters 8 for Forbes in the first round.
Well, let's take a look now at Samai of South Africa, the 24-year-old. African champion already this year, World Indoor Championship finalist back in March. last competition, those African Championships, ended with that win and with a windy 8:40. Oh, a lot of chopping of stride there. And Semi certainly coming down by the looks of things with those superimposed lines across the sand, a little bit below 8 meters. Yeah, you lose so much momentum when you chop your stride like that, and for Semi, it is indeed below 8 meters, 7 meters 93. Well, it's something to build on, but when you think he's an 8:38 jumper this year.
Well, we've got an intriguing women's pole vault, but I can tell you that disappointingly, a field of 8 is already down to a field of 6 because Alana Boyd and Kyriakopoulou from Greece, two of the main contenders, not starting at all. This is Silva, Yaroslav Silva, coming in at 4:55 successfully. So only 6 now taking part. We've got Stefanidi, Holly Bradshaw of Great Britain, Fabiana Mura, big year for the Brazilians, of course, Liza McCartney, and I can tell you that at this height, Ling Li has already gone out as well. So Silva over first time, first vault of the competition.
Yeah, and well clear there too. Plenty of height. Here's Mura, who's in fabulous form. Just 10 days ago, setting a personal best of 4 meters 87 in Brazil, the 35-year-old, and she makes light of that too, doesn't she? Second time clearance, mind you, for Silva at 4:55.
Well, that start list looks right for the 400 meters men. Ane on the inside, then we've got Taplin of Grenada, Cedinho in really good form from Trinidad and Tobago, Tony Mackay from USA, Van Niekerk, the big star, Makwala, Maslak and Bole. So right on the inside, Mame Ibra Ane from France, competed in the European Championships last week, made the final. Just missed a medal indoors this year. Braylon Taplin from Grenada, now compete for Grenada, switched his allegiance to Grenada, former American. Now Cedinho, 20 years of age, really big talent. 44:37 this year back in Jamaica, and close to that on a couple of occasions. And Tony Mackay, well, you know, the American 400 meter team always strong. He finished 5th in the American trials. And a happy birthday to Wade Van Niekerk, 24 today, in the form of his life. More of that in a second. Isaac Makwala of Botswana can be great on his day. And then Maslak in lane 7, silver medalist at the European Championships, to Martin Rooney of Great Britain last week. And just outside the medals in that race was Kevin Bole of Belgium, who finished 4th. Well, I said Van Niekerk in the form of his life. He's been training with Usain Bolt recently. Has been running stunningly well at all distances, of course, the 100, the 200. And at the 300 meters recently, Van Niekerk ran the 3rd fastest ever time. Only Michael Johnson and Usain Bolt ever gone quicker. And Van Niekerk of South Africa with merit, and Karani James will be the 3 men you must contest the gold medal surely in Rio. Van Niekerk in lane 5, men's 400 meters. Cleanly away. South Africans started pretty quickly. The American, Tony Mackay, has moved up quickly inside, and there you can see often goes off quickly the American. Van Niekerk now making up some ground. Maslak and Makwala started well. Bole being left a little bit out in lane 8. Also going well is Taplin in lane 2. There's Van Niekerk through the first 200 meters, probably with about a 2-meter lead. Looks very comfortable, doesn't he? Taplin going well in 2, starting to come through. Makwala trying to go with Van Niekerk as well, but it might be Taplin just with a half a meter advantage. So here comes Van Niekerk, though, almost changing gear here. And Van Niekerk moving away from the rest. Van Niekerk's going to win this as a bit of a canter. Van Niekerk wins it. Cedinho finished quickly, 44.13. Cedinho second. Well, I said this guy, Tim, for me, that's just outside his season's best. He always looks tired. Remember in Beijing last year, he ended up in hospital, didn't he? But he produces the goods. I love the way he runs. I love his action. And You just think Van Niekerk is heading for something big this summer.
Well, he reminds me almost of a miniature Karani James, does Van Niekerk. He's not a big fella, the South African, but my word, can he last well down the home straight. There he is, fourth from left in lane 5, and he just outlasts the others here, maintains his form so well. It looks like he accelerates, but the others are struggling. Merritt, of course, I saw him running those win those US trials last week in Eugene, 43.97. He tops the world rankings, and he is my favourite. He looked majestic running that 43.97 to win their trials, but this man will be a handful. He is the reigning world champion. His speed has improved over 200 metres, and you're right, Steve, he did make that look like a canter. There was very little sign of strain, just worked a little bit harder with the arms there to ease away from Taplin. Very, very impressive indeed for 44.12.
So Van Niekerk winning tonight, 44.12 is winning time. A personal best for Cedinho. He's been in and around that mark. He's in good form. Watch out for him in Rio. And another personal best for Taplin behind him, 44.38.
Here is Gao now in this men's long jump competition. Second round, very modest opener from the Chinese 22-year-old. Really good speed and rhythm, lovely, smooth on the board. And actually flattered to deceive, didn't it? No, little shake of the head from him, and actually a long way behind the plasticine. That's a huge distance to give away. It's one thing to get half your foot in the board, but when you hardly make the board at all, in relatively still air, I mean, plus 0.1 the wind behind his opener. Actually, it was plus 1.6 behind that one, but 7.96. We'll need to go a lot further than that. Remember, we saw Forbes jump 8.08 in the first round for Jamaica. Well, Caterina Stefanidi coming in at 4.65 meters. Perhaps a little bit risky. Oh, but that's nice. Really smooth there for Stefanidi. Took the European title in Amsterdam with 4.81. And the confidence is very, very evident, isn't it?
This is Mura again. So her clear second attempt at 4.55, so 4.65 now. And already this competition, we've lost Lee, as I said, down to 5. Ah, that's better. As Tim was saying, just well, she'd want to, wouldn't she, as we head closer, ever closer to Rio. She is a big star, and they'll be so hoping she can hit that top form at the right time. So 4.65, nice clearance that time for Mura.
And here's Holly Bradshaw from Great Britain, the 24-year-old. Recently won the UK title with 4.60 meters, but on her day, Holly is very much a world-class performer. 4.71, her lifetime best. That, though, was in June 2012.
That's good, Tim. Season's best. 4.60 in Birmingham. Starting to get towards the heights where she can contend. Third attempt then for Silva. Really needs to make this. Oh, yes. Well, this women's pole vault is there for the taking, really, tonight. The better athletes, Yerasai Silva, Mura, Stefanidi, not having too much of a problem, but until that point there, Silva suddenly looked in a bit of bother, but managing to go clear. The world champion hanging in there.
Mo Farah broke the long-standing British record for 1,500 metres on this track in 2013. He came close to that time again last year in another very fast race. On both occasions, though, Mo finished behind Asbel Kiprop. The 3-times world champion has run within a second of the world record, and this year will want to continue his dominance through to the Olympic final.
Well, the men's 1,500 metres, the athletes out on the track now. The blue ribbon event, perhaps, of many a championship A lot of European interest in this. Henrik Ingebrigtsen, the bronze medalist in European Championships last week, and his younger brother Philip, who took the title in Amsterdam. Igida is in there, a sub-3:30 man. Makloufi, the reigning Olympic champion. Mo Farah, the European record holder. Asbel Kiprop, the outstanding world #1. This race includes just about everybody. The Olympic champion, the world champion, the European champion, the European indoor champion. 6 men in this field have broken the 3:30 barrier. The first 4 from the World Championships last year are in this race. Kiprop, Manangoy, Igida, Makloufi. The 3:30 barrier has been broken on this track for each over the last 4 years in the Stade Louis II. Here we go. We're looking for 150 at 800 metres. It's predicted to be incredibly quick. Well, away they go. There's going to be some stragglers suffering in the latter stage of this one if they all go with the pace. The 2 pacemakers, Kivuva and Rotic, have been tasked with going out in 150 for 800, 217 for 1,000, which, Steve, you were saying earlier to me you thought was perhaps a little bit too fast.
Well, on paper it doesn't even look right, does it? To go 150, you probably head out first lap a bit quick, settle down second lap, and then they're expecting them to pick up again through to 1,000 metres to go through in 2:17. I can't see that happening, and particularly because it's going to be down to Kiprop. Now, he's set himself up. I expect him to get out there hard, but I think it's that third lap when he will find out whether he really fancies it. Makloufi just almost stepping on Mo Farah there, and that's where the gaps start to appear, and then Kiprop is maybe challenging the others here tonight, Tim, to say, I'm going to go out really hard, and then they're probably thinking he'll come back to us on the third lap. If he does, he may be in trouble. If he doesn't, then we're going to see him doing what he does best sometimes, showing us how fast he can go.
Well, there's been talk of a world record attempt, and certainly it's been set up for that so far. 53.7 at 400 metres. Kiprop was probably about 54.5, maybe high 54s at 400 metres, just about perfect. It is Kivuva in second place, and Igida isolated there in fourth place of all of them. Makloufi trying to close him down, but look at the single file there, that strip of runners way back along the home straights. They come through with 2 laps to run. And Igida has good 5,000 metre strength. He's a sub-13 minute 5,000 metre man. Makloufi struggling to go with him now and close that gap. Mo Farah, yet to show his colours, is back in, 8th place at the moment. Farah, who's broken 3:30 twice in this track. Look at the 800 metre time, 1:49.9.
It's quick, but it's what happens now. Look, Igida's closing on Kiprop. Kivuva's looking around. He's tired. He's struggling to keep this going. Kiprop looks relaxed to me, but they will start to close this. Mo Farah, I will tell you, will not stay in 8th place. And as I say, Mo just starting to move up a little bit. And they're all going to come back to Kiprop here. But he's going to think, effort on the third lap for them. I'm having a rest now, a little bit of a rest, and then I go again. But Igida is close, and he's going to have to go hard, and he's going to have to go fast here. Oh, and Kivuva gets in the way, Tim.
The world record of El Garouche, 3:26, set in Rome all of 18 years ago. They come down the straight, and it is Igida who leads by 3 or 4 metres from Kiprop. Has he gone too hard over the first 800? Kiprop, because he must have been about 150.2 at 800 metres. Makloufi, the reigning Olympic champion, in 3rd place. Mo Farah in 5th place at the moment and looking strong as they head into the back straight. But Igida, who's a 3:28 man himself, leading by 2 or 3 metres from Kiprop, has somebody to aim at now, does Kiprop. Makloufi in 3rd, and these 3 are away. And Farah in 6th place now, has still got work to do. The rest of them struggling in this pace. The European champion is back in about 8th place at the moment. Philip Ingebrigtsen, as Igida has Kiprop breathing down his neck, coming into the straight now and running really wide now on the outside, with Igida on the inside beaten. And it's coming away now with this win very comfortably indeed, looking fantastic. Quemboy it was who took the win, my word. Leaving it very, very late indeed. The winning time, 3:30.49. It just shows, Steve, how delicately you've got to pace these races when you're operating at the edge of the envelope like that, you've got to get it right. And 149.9 or 150.3, whatever it was for Kiprop at 800 metres was just far, far too optimistic. And he will be disappointed with that, won't he? Because he really did expect to run a long way under 3:30 here tonight, and there have been whisperings in the hotel today of a world record attempt.
I
think, Tim, we were both saying, if you go out at 150, you're setting yourself up either to run a world record or to get into a bit of bother. And when you slow down so much on the third lap, I think that was his plan tonight. Go out hard, maybe suck the others into that, slow down and go again. But they're coming from behind, and Quemo in particular comes from absolutely nowhere. And Kiprop gives up in the end, which I never like to see, to be honest. We're here in Monaco. We expect great things. We expect great things from Kiprop. We're not always going to get it, of course, but he said to me yesterday he's had a difficult week. He's had problems with his manager, his agent. Back home in Kenya, he said he's been stressed out. But then don't go out at 150.
Exactly.
Don't take the bait. Run a more sensible race. But he's only got himself to blame. He went out hard, for whatever reason. It wasn't there for him tonight. Quemoy comes through with a win, which would surprise everybody, including himself probably.
All credit to Quemoy, because he looked fabulous there down the home straight. I mean, it looked almost like a tactical race. The speed he was able to generate over the last 70 or 80 metres. 3:30.49 for Quemoy, a season's best. Manangoi second, 3:31.19. Mo Farah back in fifth place, by the way, 3:31.74. I think quite a few athletes had the rhythm of their race upset by that pace being much too quick. And Charlie Grice, by the way, another young Briton in that race, 3:33.60.
Well, here goes Forbes, still leading, 8 metres 8. The only ones who've gone over 8 metres so far. Back that up with an 8 metres 6. The Jamaican then. All that power there. And, that's better. That's much better. Maintained right the way through till he hit the board. He's been right on the board all night. And that taking him well over 8 metres. Well, I said his personal best goes all the way back, well, I say all the way back 3 years ago now, 2013, when he had his best year, really. Right on the board again. This can't be too far away from that. A nice following breeze tonight, right around the 1 metre per second mark. Well, he's kind of got the bit between his teeth tonight, hasn't he? He knows that he's leading in a decent field. It's not probably one of the best fields. And 8:23, well, season's best, so close to a personal best for Forbes. Maintains his position in the lead. Silver back in the pole vault, 4:71, first attempt. Yes, well, Silver all of a sudden coming alive here. After having looked in a bit of bother at 4:65, the world champion, as I said earlier, making it look all so easy. And puts her in the lead at the moment. On the far side of the track, the women lining up for the 3,000 metres. Really competitive field here. Good chance for one or two to step onto this big stage. One or two for the first time. Rosie Clark of Great Britain getting a call just on Tuesday to be added to the start list. Steph Twell, who's having a great season, the other British athlete in there. Mercy Chirono, Helen Obiri, they'll start probably as the two favourites, along with Dida of Ethiopia. Many of the Kenyans and Ethiopians just fresh from their trials as well. The Ethiopians indeed naming their team today. And if I understood it right, I think they do name 4, Tim. I'll come back to that. It's sometimes difficult though. Tunesh Dibaba named in the 5 under 10, for instance. And again, Zebi Dibaba, who broke the world record here last year in the 1,500 metres. Not sure we'll see too much Olympic form here, except we'll get a good look at Obiri and Chirono, the two of them there. And Obiri performing better than Chirono at the Kenyan trials. Steph Twell on the inside for Great Britain, heading off to Rio in the 5,000 metres. Great Britain themselves taking pretty much a full contingent in the men and the women's event in the long distances, 5,000, 10,000, for the first time in a long time I can remember, which is good to see. So Twell just allowing the pacemaker to come through past her. There's Helen Obiri, Chirono on the outside. Just waiting to see what sort of pace is set here. They did ask for 68-second laps, about 8:30 pace, and I'm not sure we'll get that sort of pace maintained. So hopefully a good sort of race here.
Katerina Stefanidi then in this women's pole vault competition. 465 her opening height, now 476. Oh yes, she's in wonderful form, and of course the vertical jumps, so dependent upon confidence. You have to be on top of it psychologically, and she is just that. She passed at 471, 476, no problem at all. Fabrice Lapierre then in this men's long jump competition. Always jumps with that gold chain in his mouth. Nearly went out of the competition. Fourth round for Lapierre, 8:12 in round 3 after 2 no jumps. That's big. That's much better from Lapierre. Remember, Demar Forbes of Jamaica in round 3 hit a big one, 8 meters 23. That is the lead. That's the target for Lapierre. And that is very close indeed. Fabulous height. Great leg shoot. Oh, my word. 8:21. He's 2 centimeters shy. That's less than 1 inch. He is in second place. Stefanidi next up and ready to go. Look at her card. 476 was only her second vault. This is her second attempt at 481, and Stefanidi goes clear. That is the way to do it. Very much in control of things at the moment is Stefanidi. And here is Silva in trouble too. She passed at 476, which was interesting because she was ahead with a first-time clearance of 471, which Stefanidi didn't attempt, and she could have gone at 476. However, that's her 3 failures at 481. She's gone. We saw Stefanidi clear it second time of asking. I can confirm that Moura has had 3 failures at 476. So with that failure by Silva, it confirms Stefanidi as the victor against a very, very strong field.
So Beery has a little look up. She'll see her teammate. Both of them are close. Kisa, though, 5 meters behind. It's Chirona where the danger will come from. Battle for 4th spot coming through with a lap to go. Grovdal and Steph 12 locked together. But these two now, Obiri with that 1500 meter pace, just turning the pressure on now. Chirona will try and hang on, try and hope her strength can come into play here. But Obiri looking good. Having another look up, there's a screen on the back straight there. She has a little glance and her confidence grows because the gap now extends to 3, 4, 5 meters. And Helen Obiri starting to push on and kick away. The former world indoor champion looking good here, and this is the old sprinting form of Helen Obiri. And look at the distance she's putting between herself and Chirona. Chirona coming under some pressure from Kisa behind her, but this is going to be a great win from Helen Obiri. A pretty quick time as well, not too far off her personal best, 8:24. Chirona has to settle for second, 8:27 thereabouts, and Kisa in 3rd spot. Grovdal coming down the home straight in what looks like a very quick time for the Norwegian. Going to be inside 8:40. Grovdal crossing the line about 8:39. Steph Twellen about 8:41. That'll be a big personal best for the Brit. Those two putting in good performances. But Helen Obiri, you know, Tim, she'll be looking at that 5,000 metres. Ayana, you would expect to be probably the big favourite, but Genzebi Dibaba's not in it. Tirunesh Dibaba not running as she was. Chariot definitely coming back to great form, but Obiri has got to be thinking about medal chances in Rio.
Well, when you think she did all the work for the last 2 kilometres of that race, Steve, I got her last 800 at 2:08.9. I mean, that is world-class closing, and she was able to raise a game too over that final 150. It was a very, very well-executed race, and that she turned the screw consistently more and more through that last 300 metres, and to just burn off an athlete of the calibre with the strength and speed of Mercy Chirona is absolutely fabulous.
Particularly pleased for Steph Twell. And that moves her up the UK all-time list. 8:40.98, the official time for her in 5th place. Grovdal with a big personal best, 8:39.47. Just tidy all of that up for you there. The result, Cifuentes also getting a personal best, 8:46, but host of personal bests as ever here in Monaco. Even Rosie Clark in 11th, knocking 3 seconds off her best.
Daphne Schippers is on top of the world, currently leading the rankings for both 100 and 200 metres. Since leaving heptathlon behind to concentrate solely on track events, the Dutch athlete has dominated women's sprinting, winning 6 major gold medals and setting blistering times. After breaking the Diamond League record over 200 metres in her last outing in Oslo, Schippers will be looking to do the same over 100 metres tonight.
The women's 100 metres. And all eyes surely on Daphne Schippers, the world champion 200 metres, the European champion last week in Amsterdam in front of an adoring home crowd over 100 metres. Gafour in 1 then, isolated now on the far side. Veronica Campbell-Brown goes in 3. She was only 4th in the Jamaican Championships over 100 metres on the 1st of this month, even though she ran 10:83 back in the middle of June. So Gafour in 1, Campbell-Brown in 3, Schippers goes in 4, right beside her, Tiana Bartoletta. This will be a real test for the Dutch athlete. Aquinas in 6. Well, away this time, pretty good start there from Schippers, I have to say 3rd from right. Bartoletta's got some work to do at the moment. Schippers moving clear now, that's strengthened. Bragner away with Campbell-Brown in 2nd place. Schippers dipping at the line, 10:95 into a slight headwind. And she made that look very, very workmanlike and frankly pretty straightforward. Not a great deal of pressure being applied. She's so much more confident now with this better start. She said yesterday that she feels, because of the significance of the starts over the 100, more so than in the 200, her improved starting technique means she's got more potential to be gathered up, so to speak, and realised in the shorter sprint than over the 200. But she's already world number 1 at 200. And while she might not be world number 1 at 100, Steve, and indeed she has had a couple of defeats this season, 1 at each distance, she's going to be tough to beat come Rio, even in this shorter race.
And the thing you always have to remember with Schippers is, you know, the rounds. She's going to be good in the rounds. And I think you're right, Tim, this confidence she has in her start means she's actually putting herself under less pressure, which means you start better anyway. You know, she has a bit more confidence. It's going to work for her, and she keeps it simple, keeps it straightforward. And then once she's into her running, Schippers, well, more often than not, the last 20-30 metres she's going to keep going away or run others down if they have got ahead of her. But look at this, strong, powerful, relaxed, more to come. And I think that's the thing which would trouble me if I was the others. You know, whenever you see Schippers, you always think, okay, 3 rounds, and she may well have to go into the high 1070s or something. I'll be warm in Rio with a little breeze in the face here tonight.
There are, 5 athletes this year who have gone under 1080, and she's not amongst them, so it will be a tough task. Schippers wins in 10.94 in the 100 from Veronica Campbell-Brown, 11.12. That's a big gulf, though, between the two. Karina Horn in third, 11.14. Robbie Grabarts then in this high jump competition. Goes clear at 2.31. Well, he's been perfect up to and including this height, having come in at 2.22. And the Olympic bronze medalist in fine fettle with Rio bearing down on us. That's a good card for the Briton.
2.31, first attempt. It's been perfect so far for Bashim, and again sailing over, really coming back into good form. Had some problems with his back again early in the season, but Bashim, apart from getting something in his eye, seeing himself clear.
Tamberi then. Second attempt for him at 2.31. The tights are off, the basketball shorts are off, and the clearances are coming. Fascinating fella, really good sense of humour. Very animated press conference yesterday with him and Bashim. Bondarenko wasn't at that press conference, but here he goes at 2.31 as well. And this has the makings of something fairly special tonight. His opening height was 2.22 Bondarenko. That was no problem, of course. 2:31 at the second time of asking.
This is Gajal, the Syrian, who is, well, in the form of his life this year, and he goes clear as well. Well, as Tim said, this is really warming up. Another one clear at 2:31. Second attempt for him, so he's in third.
So Gao, in the sixth and final round of this long jump competition, looking desperately to give it some respectability, his card. And he almost does it there. Well, peppering that region between 7.5 and 8 meters. But prior to this, he has not been able to hit 8 meters. That looked below 8 meters, I have to say. And he has done it with his sixth and final effort. Well, talk about reward for perseverance, and moves into third place. Takes a couple of useful scalps. We can see the lineup from the next event of the track, the men's high hurdles.
Shikia from Poland on the inside. I say the inside, lane 1. Milosian, Ortega, Martino Lagarde, McLeod, Bascu, Alcana and Baji. Ortega of Spain, he's in 3. Martino Lagarde has been given the middle lane in 4. So the organisers putting their faith in him if nobody else is. McLeod in 5, Bascu is in lane 6. .110 hurdles. Safely away, McLeod get a terrible start, going well, Bascu alongside, and Martino Lagarde trying to get into this with Bascu leading a bit. Here comes McLeod, one clatters that one, it's still Bascu at the minute and over right on the far side. Ortega gets it! 13.06. Well, Ortega came from nowhere at the end there. He didn't get a good start, it was all happening on this side. Bascu was away, he was being chased down by McLeod, who made a right hash of things and ended up on the track. And indeed his number's the only thing left there lying in front of us. But then the man who finished strongly was Ortega. And as I was saying, Tim, he's in a bit of turmoil at the moment because he thinks he should be going to the Olympic Games to represent Spain. IAAF at the moment have said his eligibility doesn't come into effect to compete in major championships. He can represent Spain in competition, but not in the major championships until November. And this will put him right at the forefront of the headlines, won't it? Because he's won here tonight, and his story will get some attention.
Well, he set a new national record earlier in the season for Spain. Doesn't it seem ridiculous? But look at McLeod here, the world #1, right in the middle, fourth from left. He's hitting barriers, more and more barriers, clatters into that one, crashes to the track really heavily, even manages to lose a shoe, I think, there, McLeod. But it shows what an unforgiving discipline this is, doesn't it? Ortega, third from right, very, very smooth indeed, taking those barriers in his stride, keeping Martino Lagarde at bay, never gives the others a sniff, Ortega, because that was faultless. Brilliant run.
And what about Martino Lagarde? What a return for him while everything was going on. There's McLeod crashing down, Bascu fading in the last 2 hurdles, Ortega coming through, and Ortega drags the big man through with him. Watch Martino Lagarde here. There's McLeod. Martino Lagarde under a bit of pressure here, watching his teammate Bascu going away, but look how strongly he finishes it. By far his best run of the season. He ran 13.7, Tim, I think, in the final at the French Championships, 13.4 in the semi-final, but 13.1 tonight. Here's the result. A season's best for Ortega, 13.04. A personal best for Bascu, despite everything going around him, in second place. And then his teammate Martino Lagarde, 13.17, the Lucian in 4th place. Men's high jump then. So we've seen Derek Druin go. This is Bondarenko now with the bar at 2.34. Took 2 attempts to go over 2.31, but not this time. That looked very smooth indeed from the Ukrainian, former world champion, of course. And Bondarenko throws the gauntlet down to the others. First time clearance at 2.34. Here's Gajal. What a year. He's 29 years of age now, Gajal, and suddenly producing that personal best. Came in Beijing at the World Challenge, 2.36, a new national record. On he goes clear. Well, He wouldn't be the one that you would look down the list of names tonight and say, there's the man who's going to win. But Gajal goes clear. So Tambari, what can he do? Oh, yes, just a little rattle. Yeah, of course, he says. Well, the showman, world indoor champion, the European champion now, only had to clear 2:32 to win that gold medal. Tonight, 2:34 the second attempt.
Barshim in real trouble at 2:34. Well, his season has been gradually rounding into one that had enormous promise, but this will be massively disappointing and is just that. Well, the javelin is an event which is on the field programme tonight. Here's Catherine Mitchell, the Australian. She's a 66-metre thrower at the best, is Mitchell, and that's a very, very sound throw from Mitchell. 63.80.
This is the woman who won the European title, Kaladovic, and really taken advantage of her form this year. And that's a really good effort the first round, way out there. Well, Kaladovic, no, was a...
Well, the line, those markers across the sector are wrong. They're putting 70 metres on the 65-metre line. It's been a bit disconcerting.
It was a good throw, though. It was still further than the others. You can see it is disconcerting.
That was a 65-metre throw, not a 70-metre throw.
Legal throw. Legal throw. So she moves into a very early lead there, Kaladovic, 65-62.
Well, the lineup for the next event on the track, the women's 800 metres, it's a big field. 12 starters are out there, but it's a high-caliber field. I can tell you that the fastest three in the world this year go in this lineup. Caster Semenya tops the world rankings from Burundi's Neon Saba. Lindsay Sharp, second in the UK Championships this year, but a European champion back in 2012. Good, consistent season from her so far. Wambui there to the right of picture for Kenya, just 20 years old, World Junior Champion 2014, took a bronze medal at the World Indoors back in March and won the Kenyan Olympic Trials just last week. She shares that lane 4 with Hoyatska, who won the European Championship 1500 metres, one of the big shocks in Amsterdam, that. Eunice Sum, world champion in 2013, has a great range. She's strong as Sum, has a good 3,000 time. Neon Saba, the world indoor champion, she front ran her way to that wonderful gold in Portland, did the Burundian. She shares lane 6 with Molly Ludlow, 4th in the US Olympic trials last week. Just missed out Ludlow on a Rio spot. Caster Semenya, the real powerhouse from South Africa, the world champion back in 2009, unbeaten over 800 so far this year with big wins in Doha, Rabat and Rome. The world record, remember, 153.28 by Kratoch Vilova back in 1983. So away they go. Now Caster Semenya has displayed this astonishing range in recent weeks. She's a sub-51 second 400 metre runner. She ran a 4:01 for 1,500 metres just a couple of weeks back. She has all the armoury needed to handle a field of this calibre. I wonder whether or not, though, she might, like Kiprop in that 1,500 metres, overextend herself here tonight in this 800 metres. The pacemaker Balanovic has gone off quickly. Semenya slots into second spot. Looks relaxed, doesn't she, moving at this tempo. The rest of them being strung out. Neon Saba there in second place. Wambui moving up round the outside into, what, 6th place at the moment. And so far, keeping her powder dry, Lindsay Sharp towards the back of the field.
Yeah, Wambui went through the first 200 a little slower than the others, but she's got good 400 metre pace, just putting herself into position. The big three, if you like, right there, Tim, 56 through 400. It's not super fast, but certainly quick enough. And Semenya now, can she run away from Neon Saba and Wambui? But the whole field has come back to her for the time being.
Well, 56.04 is probably a better time than if she had gone out closer to 55. It's more sensible, but it is Semenya at the moment from Neon Saba, from Wambui, the athletes in the world rankings in 1st, 2nd and 3rd in those places with 250 metres to run. Sharp still back in about 8th place at the moment, 200 metres to go. Now this is where Semenya in every race so far this year has just eased away from the opposition almost effortlessly. Brilliant running on the moment from Ludlow in 4th place. The American clinging on to the top 3 out in front of her. Sum it is in 5th place, moving well around the outside as Sharp down the home straight. But kicking away now is Semenya. looking powerful, looking smooth. Nyonsaba in second, chasing hard from Wambui. Watch the clock. Semenya 1:55.34 there. And that from Caster Semenya is a new personal best. And boy, oh boy, does she look stressed? Does she look in trouble? Does she look like she's recovered pretty much already? Yes, she does, to my money. That's a brilliant, brilliant, smooth piece of 800-metre running from Caster Semenya.
Yeah, some good performances behind Semenya, but there's nobody can do what she can do at the minute. Tim, after that 56 first lap, they slowed to a 31 through 600, and she's come home in 28, low 28 seconds, and nobody can do that, not even Nyonsaba, Wambui, as strong as they are, and, well, you really cannot see anybody getting close to Semenya. She can win at will. I mean, this is a personal best, but surely, you know, she's going to run much quicker than that if she wants to. Look at this. This is just controlled running, and she only picks up, isn't she, the last 100 metres, and you know, to have that in your tank, you know, the others haven't got that. They just don't, and you almost think, well, what, you know, as a competitor, you always have to think, how do I beat that person? What can I do? I cannot see anything. I couldn't suggest anything to the others at the moment that could give them even a glimmer of hope to beat Semenya.
Well, because in effect, Steve, too, she acted as the most perfect pacemaker. It's just she was a pacemaker who didn't step aside, didn't slow and move on to the infield, who just gradually eased away from them over the last 200 metres. The place time's spectacular. There it is, confirmation for the win for Semenya. 1:55.33, a national record for Nyonsaba there in second place. Wambui, a personal best, a season's best for Sum. Ludlow, a great personal best in fifth place. And look at the place times too. Seventh, Oetska, personal best in seventh, 1:58.97. Boran Bondarenko then, second attempt at 2:37, cleared 2:34 first time, did the former world champion. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. The confidence is coming back for several of these high jumpers. Last year was almost a fallow year after the exploits of 2014, which were so spectacular. Tamberi now. Second time clearance to the two previous heights. First at 2:37. And that is clear. That's a personal best equaling performance from Tamberi. And he takes the lead. And my word, will he take some scalps here tonight. Bondarenko behind him. Barshim already out. Donald Thomas, a former world champion of the Bahamas, is out as well. Here's Gazal. What a night he's having. No, but he's already cleared 2:34 at the first time of asking. More concerned, I think, with that foot than he is with that third time failure at 2:37.
This is Spatakova in the javelin. First round, 61.50. Managed to get into that, put her into the top four. 3 more throws, and now we've got the better marking out there as well. So Spatakova, that looked more like 63, 64 metres. Kaladovic leading with that first round throw of 65-62. The new European champion, Mitchell of Australia, lying in second place. It won't be too far away from that. Not quite far enough. 63-34, Spatakova in third. So the 200 metres for men, all set to go. There's Brennes Ellington having a great season over 100 metres in lane 2. Got Martinez. Well, Lemaitre is almost becoming the kind of almost forgotten man, isn't he, of European sprinting after dominating for a while. Jimmy Vico certainly doing better. A lot of the French attention and the 110 hurdles we've just seen recently. James Ellington in the yellow for Great Britain in lane 2, who's concentrating on the 100 this year after having spent a big chunk of his career where most people considering him a better 200-metre runner. He's got lane 2, won't be too easy from there. Martinez of Dominica in lane 3, then Ford of Jamaica, and then Lemaitre in 5, Martina in 6, Edward, and then Izuka on the outside.
Good.
A pretty even break. In fact, Izuka gets a good start out there in lane 8, and also going well, Julian Ford, the Jamaican, inside Christophe Lemaitre. Ellington trying to get into it in lane 2 also, and Brennes right over there in lane 1. And it's anybody's race here. Lemaitre trying to come through the middle. Alonso Edward, though, has just got this and just moves away by a metre. Alonso Edward gets the win from Lemaitre, and perhaps Brenner's over in lane 1 for third. 20.11, that's the time at the moment, Tim. In fact, it's just been taken down by 100th. 20.10. Well, Alonso Edward has been in good form. That 20.06, his season's best, very close to it there.
Very, very smooth indeed. James Ellington swung wide off the bend there as he came into the straight. Never really got back on terms with the majority of this field. But you can see the strain there on the face of Lemaitre as he tries to get back to Edward, who frankly very, very much smoother.
Well, it's a season's best for Lemaitre, not by much, so he'll take that slight improvement. But you're right, Tim. You know, it's all a bit ragged, isn't it? And he's, you know, you can't knock anyone for fighting hard like that. And he was never the smoothest of sprinters. But well, he'll claim and say that he's edging in the right direction. But yes, Alonso Edward, just look at him, just nice and relaxed, bouncing off the track. Really, Chirandi Martina probably a bit disappointed with his performance there. Tonight, given how close he was to those two coming off the bend. Fresh from a 150-metre personal best. Alonso Edward with a big win tonight. 20.10, his winning time. Season's best for Lemaitre, just taking 300th off his previous best. Brenner's just run out of third place by Martina, but he did equal his national record in fourth with 20.33.
The men's 3,000 metre steeplechase, the final event of the night here in Monte Carlo. And what a race this promises to be. A host of Kenyans going in this one, including current world number 1, Ceslus Kipruto, who is, we understand, looking for something a long way under 8 minutes. It's a zone he's never yet broached. He's run very close to 8 minutes on a number of occasions. So, if the pacemakers do their job, if Ceslus Kipruto goes with them, the World Championship silver medalist for each of the last 2 occasions, in 2013 in Moscow and last year in Beijing, then maybe we could see something special here tonight. Of course, you want to see a great race as well. Records are the cream on the cake, so to speak. Bondarenko then, in a little bit of trouble, but he's had a great evening already. Second time clearance at 2:37. This is third at 2:39. No, but he's on the way back, is Bondarenko. He's had a busy evening. Came in at 2:22, cleared that first time. And there is his card in full. Second place for Bondarenko.
Right. The third time of asking. Tamberi, the European champion, at 2:39, cleared it, which was a massive achievement for him here tonight. And Tamberi, with a new national record, 2:39, had the crowd on their feet. Triple jump then. Rojas, the youngster who stunned the world really at the indoor championships and is continuing her development. 15 metres now, as Tim was saying, still a little bit raw, still yet to control those long limbs really, but think of the potential she surely has at this. That's a certainly improvement there. Started with 14.23 in round 1. The lead the last time we saw Ibarguen at 14.82. Improving there to 14.55.
So Ibarguen has somebody to battle against these days. Precocious talent from Yulimar Rojas. Opened with 14.56, then 14.82. All smiles too. She's quite a character, isn't she? This is Catherine Ibarguen. Been around a while now, 32 years old, when you think Rojas is fully 12 years younger. Fabulous final phase. She really does squeeze every centimetre out of it.
Well, one national record already for Gianmarco Tamberi. What a year he's having. He's already got 2 gold medals at the Indoor Championships and at the European Championships. Let's hope that's not an injury. He's got a... Oh, he's grabbing his foot. I hope he's all right. Oh, no. I was just saying what a year he's having now. That looks like an athlete who thinks he's done something bad there, Tim. A new national record from Tamberi, but with a very worrying injury just before Rio. Bondarenko taking second place. Robbie Grabal's equal fourth tonight. He takes third in the diamond race. Bondarenko is still leading it.
Back to this steeplechase. That first kilometre, 2:40.54. Well, it was 3.5 seconds out of what was beyond what was requested, and wasn't great pacemaking, I have to say. And Kipruto might have a race in his hands now instead of a time trial. Well, we should be applauding that as they come through in front of us with 3 laps to run. Paul Kipsiele-Koech, that little barrel-chested, small stature, in third place. Just trying to hang on to Kipruto, and there's another glance over his shoulder. Kipyego in the orange in fourth place, and in the yellow back in fifth place, just stuttering at that barrier going into the back straight.
He's got to go now, Tim. You know, he's looking around, he's hanging around, the pace is dropping. If he's in that sort of shape, go. You know, he's got 2.5 laps to go, last 1,000 metres. They're really good athletes, the world-class, front-running, attacking athletes. Look at he's blaming everybody else. Have a go. Go on. Come on, Conselsus, have a go. Show us what you can do. He's now got the rest of the field there with him. He's going to blame the pacemaker. But to be fair, if this was so easy for him, he should have gone past him a lap ago and got on with it.
Well, I agree, Steve. He's won 4 Diamond Leagues already this summer, each of them at a canter, frankly. If you look at his times through those 4 meetings, 8:05, 8:02, 8:01, and then 8 minutes with just a few hundredths he won in the Birmingham Diamond League a few weeks back. So this for him is relatively easy. They go through the bell in what, about 7:07. We have a real race in our hands here. The crowd enjoying this one. They do know their distance running here in Monte Carlo. It's always a feast of great middle distance races this evening, and tonight no exception.
Well, the World Junior Champion, the reigning World Junior Champion, of course, World Junior Championship starting next week, so he'll lose that title. But Koech, who can never do well at the Olympic trials, never runs well at altitude, but has always got pace, Tim, and he's going to put Kipruto under some pressure over the last 200 here.
Well, you saw Koech there attack, and Kipruto respond immediately. The World Championship silver medalist twice now skips over that water jump into the water, much the taller of the two. 120 to run. Who's got the change of pace here? Because they've turned this into a tactical affair. Kipyego back in third place. He's run out of it now. Kipruto ups the cadence, just eases away from Koech there, makes it look comfortable, almost jogging home there. 3 meters to the good in 8:08. What might have been? Goodness me. One of these days, Conseslus Kipruto, who records his 5th consecutive Diamond League win there in the steeplechase, one of these days he's going to get it right, he's going to get great pacemaking, he's going to attack the distance through that middle and latter section, and he's going to go an awful long way below 8 minutes. He's smiling. I think he's pleased just to have won the race in what was effectively a tactical affair. Conseslus Kipruto winning an 8:08.11 in the steeplechase from Koech and Kipyego. 1-2-3 for Kenya. Bakali 8:14, a personal best in 4th place for Morocco. Here is the Rojas again, gradually improving, looking better through the rounds. Oh dear, that middle phase is just a step. I mean, it's almost literally just a step. It's not, it doesn't make it a phase of the jump. She's a very, very raw talent. I can imagine coaches all over the world watching this thinking, goodness me, what's the middle phase? It's virtually nothing. Hardly covers any ground at all with the middle phase. There is so much more to come from this very, very tall young lady. 14.64 she improves to in round 5.
Kalatovic has been leading the javelin throughout since round 1. That was her best throw, 65.62. The European champion dominating tonight. Couldn't go further. Flat conditions, really. Not easy for javelin throwers, but the win for her. Not able to improve, but nobody being able to get even close, really, to Kalatovic. So she wins. That first round effort, her best, as indeed it was for Catherine Mitchell.
Kimberly Williams then, sixth and final round for the Jamaican. She's in third place at the moment. 14.29 her best, way back in the first round. No jumps in the second and third rounds. Oh, that's a big second phase and a huge final phase from Williams. She's a 14.56 jumper this year, and she's not far short of it with that effort. Just about perfect on the board. I know one or two people would call that a no jump. Sits back on it a little bit there, does Kimberly Williams, twice a World Championship finalist. But with a final effort there, goes out to 14 metres 47 into a slight headwind. There's still a bit of breeze around Stade Louis Stadium.
Well, this will be the last of the action of the night. Katerina, Ibarguen down the back straights. Many of the crowd have stayed, which is good to see, leading the competition from Rojas. 14.87 in the third round. She's had 2 no jumps since then in rounds 4 and 5. Last jump of the competition. Oh, and maybe saved her best to last. With a little defiant sweep of the arm. Ibarguen takes a bow. She's won tonight. Stays on top. And maybe giving us the best jump of the competition right at the very end. Well, she's looking for 15 metres. It's certainly not far away. It's very, very close. She knew, didn't she? Looking for the result. Oh, it's 14.96. Very close to 15 metres. Big smiles, Tim. She would love to have gone over 15, but she stays on top. Looking good.
Stay with us on BBC One next to find out what it really takes to coach a champion. We were given exclusive access to go behind the scenes with Tony Minicello, the man behind the success of Jessica Ennis-Hill. That's followed by continued coverage of Davis Cup tennis. Tomorrow on BBC Two, you can watch highlights of the Triathlon World Series from Hamburg. Diamond League Athletics will be back live next weekend with the Anniversary Games in London. Coverage starts from 7 o'clock on Friday evening.
After the horrific news from Nice overnight, taking part in an athletics competition can seem somewhat futile and insignificant. However, the only thing that athletes can realistically offer is to go out and perform as well as they are able. Tonight we had a host of impressive performances from British athletes as Rio comes ever closer, particularly from the endurance contingent. Mo Farah was a little off the pace in the 1500 metres, but I'm sure nothing to worry about there. And there was a big personal best for Charlie Grice in the same event, and Steph Twell, a personal best for her in the 3000 metres, continues her return to real form. Lindsay Sharp went close to her best in the 800 metres behind Semenya, and there was a welcome season's best in the pole vault for Holly Bradshaw. But undoubtedly the star of the British athletes was Ailey Doyle in the 400 metre hurdles. A massive win for her and a personal best as well, showing that she is very much on course to be a real contender in Rio.
There is a truth to sport.
Jessica Ennis-Hill is back on top of the world.
Petey wins the gold. Nicola Adams has just made history.
David Rudisha, gold for Kenya.
His 18th Olympic gold medal.
And Bolt gets it.
They are world champions again. Charlotte